let's move on to the third main topic today. And our third main topic today gets sent in to us from Case Lee, who writes, "Hey, John, I was wondering if you've seen the comments made by some of the Academy voters saying they won't see Joker. Do you think it's irresponsible of them to do so? Or if they should even be allowed to vote at all if they haven't seen the movies in the running? Thanks, John. I hope you and the gang are all having a wonderful day." All right, thanks a lot for saying that, in Case. And basically where this is coming from is there was I believe it was a Variety article that this Variety writer reached out to a couple of dozen of his contacts who are Academy voters. I know a few people who are Academy voters as well. But he reached out to a couple dozen of them to get their thoughts on Joker. The vast majority of them loved the film. Some of them thought, I think the film sends the wrong message. A couple of them, a number of them who hadn't seen it said things along these lines. Now, this comment was very reflective of what a lot of them says, I haven't seen the film. I know at some point I will need to see it for awards consideration, but I have no particular interest in it otherwise. So out of the ones that had not seen the film, most of them were saying, oh yeah, I'm still going to see it either because I want to, or number two, because it is going to be for awards consideration, so I need to see it. That said, there were a couple that said, I don't plan on seeing it. There were a couple of them that said, I don't plan on seeing that. Now, that has caused a little bit of a uprise, and some people have gotten very upset at those comments, which is a little hypocritical, because if the same Academy voters were talking about a movie that those people didn't like, they wouldn't care that they said they're not going to go see it. But still, we are talking about Joker, the Golden Lion Award winner. It's going to be an Oscar consideration, all that kind of stuff. Is this a big deal if there are a couple of them who say, it's not a movie for me, I can just tell it's not a movie for me, I don't plan on watching it. I'm going to say something unpopular here, which I'm never adverse to doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is why it is brilliant and why it's important that the Academy has a voting base of nearly 7,000 members. 7,000 members. If 5 people who are voting members of the Academy don't see Joker, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Statistically speaking, that is a percentage of a percentage of the voters. And therein lies one of the brilliant things about the Academy, is that you're always going to get a few people here and there that have bad motivations, lazy viewing attitudes, whatever the case may be. You're always going to get a certain percentage. But the fact of the matter is, because the voting base is 7,000 people strong, those few people, those 5 people that say they haven't and probably won't see Joker, become irrelevant. They become irrelevant. Now, it's different for something like the Golden Globes, which only has a voter base of, I think, like 48 to 52 people. If 5 people on the Golden Globes don't see it, well, that's 10% of the voting base. That's a huge deal. With the Academy, not so much. Also, understanding that there are going to be over 500 films this year that technically are going to be eligible for Oscar consideration, it's unreasonable to expect that all 7,000 voting Academy members are going to watch all 500 films. It's impossible. So some are going to watch some will watch others. There's going to be the odd film that a few people don't see. But the significance and the insurance and the safety blanket of such a large voter base immunizes the awards and the results from the fact that 5, 6, 7 people say they're not even going to watch it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the overall body, and that's why it doesn't matter. Do I think those people should be punished? Well, then, if we accept and understand that not all 7,000 members can watch all 500 eligible films, then who sets the rules about which ones they have to watch and which ones they don't have to watch? So, no, I think that's unreasonable. I think that's ridiculous. I think if this was 500 members, that's one thing. But the fact of the matter is, out of like 30 plus people that this Variety guy got a hold of, 1 or 2 said they weren't going to. And he estimated overall in a follow-up piece that he's estimating right now there's maybe 6, 7, or 8 members won't see it. Out of 7,000, it doesn't matter. It's much ado about nothing. So I don't know. Rob, am I underplaying this, or should this be taken more seriously?
No, I think you're not underplaying this at all. I think what people don't realize is that, look, even the voting membership of the Academy doesn't get around to seeing all the movies. We want to believe that, like, everybody who's a member of the Academy is, for the most part, well, a lot of them are retired, but there's a lot of people that are working.
They're film professionals.
They're film professionals. They're out there working. It's hard to catch up. It's not like they have all this free time to just watch the movies. And, you know, I'd like to think that I you know, for the most part, I think the Academy votes pretty fairly. I mean, sometimes there's things that, but I think that it's not like we see a lot of things that are undeserving. And I think eventually people get, if Joker becomes, I mean, already with the money it's making, it's already become a zeitgeist film. But if it gets a lot of award consideration, people who are voting, they want to be in the know. They want to know what's going on because they need to be able to talk about it to their friends or fellow constituents or whatever. So I don't, like you said, I don't think it's anything to really worry about. I mean, we all are very protective of our comic book movies, and I get that, and our genre movies. I totally understand. And, you know, there's a lot of people that just aren't into comic book movies. It doesn't matter what you tell them. They have a prejudice against the genre that they're not going to suddenly get over. Maybe Joker will make them do that. But there's a lot of people that aren't going to watch Joker because they don't like graphic violence. And I'm not going to hold that against them. You know, we're so used to being able to watch things, but there's a lot of people like my mom, if she was a voting member of the Academy, I don't think I could get her to watch Joker. I wouldn't want my mom to watch Joker. It would really disturb her. So does that mean she shouldn't be voting? Well, perhaps not. But I'm saying if she was a member of the Academy, she obviously would love movies. She'd work in movies. But if she doesn't like to watch violence, then she's not going to watch it. And I bet there's more than 8 people in the Academy that feel that way.
Yeah. And the bottom line here, too, is this. If Joker does not end up getting a Best Picture nomination, which at this point I think it should, but I haven't seen every movie yet. But if it doesn't, it won't be because 12 people out of a 7,000 voting base didn't see Joker.
Right.
You know, so that's the bottom line. If the number was 500 or, okay, then there's some cause for concern, but I don't think it's an issue. Guys, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a real serious issue? Do you think it's much ado about nothing? How do you see it? Jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.